won't be watching this in the morning, but it's morning for me. It's Friday. I am driving already. Should have bought a coffee, but I don't drink coffee, but I should have bought a coffee anyways. I woke up this morning at 4:30. It's an hour normal than usual. My alarm went off. I opened my eyes. Even before my eyes were open, I was thinking, son of, don't want to do this. Thinking that, I was going to work. And then I had to lay there for a second and wonder, am I going to work? No, I'm not going to work. I will get up. Today's vacation day. I'm headed north because, as we all know, I think if you're going fishing, I don't care what state you live in or where you live, it seems like north is the place to go. You have to go north. I've never heard anybody say, oh, I'm going south. I'm going fishing. We're going to go down south. It's always, oh, we're going fishing. We're going to go up north. So, yes, I am headed up north. Headed to the Adirondacks. Try some brook trout fishing before the water gets too warm. It's been not a good spring. The waters are already low, but the temperatures are still all right in them, which to me means that there's less water, so there's less water to look for fish, so it should be easier to find the fish, so the fishing should be good. This is how my mind works. In reality, how it will actually work is the fishing will be just as hard, and the black flies will be in clouds by the billions. And I'll do a video now, because doing a video up there would pretty much, well, you won't be able to see my face. You'll just see this thing, and you'll hear some muffled talking. So this is the place to do it. So yeah, I'm not going to work. And that was enough to get me off the couch and get me up and moving. Pretty cool. We had plans, Chris Murphy and I had plans from about a couple weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago we planned. Our plan was to hike a high peak in Adirondacks, High Peaks Trail, into a couple of lakes. Spend 3 days up there fishing these lakes. And then what happened last week? The New York State DEC threw a wrench in that whole plan and shut down some of the High Peaks trails, including one of the trails we were going to need. Why did they shut it down? No, not because of the coronavirus. They shut it down because the trails are too muddy. That is right. You cannot go into the wilderness and you cannot go hiking because of the mud. It's not as dumb as it sounds. It sounds dumb initially. It's not as dumb as it sounds. Without everybody being, so many people being out of work and nothing to do because everything is closed down except for Walmart and the grocery stores. The whole social distancing thing. Everybody and their brother has been going up north, where you go north, and hiking. And apparently, even though we haven't had snow down here for 2 months, up in the high peaks, they had snow, they kept snow. Even when it went away, they got more snow. So there has been wet conditions up there, a lot of runoff from the snow melts, probably a little rain. And with all the traffic in the high peaks, the trails have turned into pedestrian highways, and those mountain trails have been completely torn to shit, from what I understand, pardon my French, destroying the trails and the mountaintops. So they have shut the trails down so they do not get any worse. It sucks, but I understand completely. I really do. I don't do a lot of high peaks. I wish I did, but there's a couple of reasons. One, there's no trout streams and there's no fishing on top of these high peaks. I want to fish. Very rarely. It's only happened a handful of times where I've gone hiking and there was no fishing involved. So I get it. And the other reason I don't do the high peaks so much is because when you do a high peaks hike in the Adirondacks, you encounter a lot of people on the trail, which I go to get away from people. And when you get to the top, the absolutely beautiful views usually include, pardon my French again, a shit ton of people, which is not why I go. I think the last high peak I did, I took Jake and Carter, my boys, with me, and I think it was Giant Mountain, and that was pretty cool. And halfway up the mountain, there was a lake that you could fish at, and we actually stopped and watched trout rising on this little lake, giant swash bowl. And up at the top, there actually weren't other people. But I remember the one before that I did was Algonquin, and when we got up to the top, the view was absolutely gorgeous, but there must have been about 75 people. I will complain about all the people, but I will also admit that I was part of the problem because I was one of the people. I'm not going to be one of the people who right now is saying how horrible it is when they go hiking up north because of all the people on the mountains. What are these people thinking? Don't they know they're supposed to be social distancing? When the people who are complaining are part of the problem. I will admit that if I go and I complain there's too many people, I'm one of those people. So I'm probably just not going to go to those places unless I'm pretty sure that it's going to be very low traffic that day. So I avoid the high peaks, as beautiful as they are. As much as I would love the views every weekend, I avoid them. So instead of going to hike up in the high peaks and hike into these lakes, we're going to one of our more regular spots. I say that like it's not as cool. It is cool. We just know the area really well, and I like finding new areas, and this area is, we fished it a lot, okay? But we're fairly sure that we're not going to run into other people. There's a couple primitive campsites, because all the state campgrounds, I think, are still closed. Even if they're not, that's not our type of camping. We'll grab a primitive site, a little yellow tag with a tent on it, nailed to a tree someplace, says you can camp here, which, by the way, you don't need to look for those, but they're nice cleared out, so we'll use them. Otherwise, we just walk into the woods and set up a camp. That's primitive. But our primitive this weekend means a cleared spot and no facilities. Which, when this whole stupid Corona thing kicked off, was a good thing for me because everybody bought toilet paper and you couldn't get toilet paper. And I don't keep more than 4 or 6 rolls at my house at a time because what kind of a psycho needs 400 rolls of toilet paper at their house? Apparently a lot of psychos out there need toilet paper. So when I couldn't get toilet paper because I do primitive camping, I was cleaning the car out a few days into the whole toilet paper TP crisis and found 2 rolls under the passenger seat of the car. Score. So see, this whole unplugging thing actually helps in more ways than one. Some ways the way you least expect it. TP hidden under the car seat. So we're gonna go to a spot that's more regular to us and do some brook trout fishing and hopefully catch some brook trout. The only thing I'm not really looking forward to is the black flies, because I got a feeling that they're probably going to be at pretty much their peak. What I mean by that is they couldn't be any more obnoxious, annoying, and maddening than what they are going to be this weekend. Every area from Alaska to Africa to the UP in Michigan to Florida. It seems like everywhere you go, you talk to somebody from that area and they have the worst bugs. We've got the worst mosquitoes. We've got the worst black flies. All the deer flies here, blah, blah, blah. Everybody. Well, I can tell you this much. I'm not going to say that the Adirondacks can beat everybody out for black flies. But I am going to say that all of you that brag about how bad the bugs are where you are, we can at least give you a run for your money. They're bad. And that's what we're going to be dealing with this weekend. So I got the bare essentials. I got my cans of beans. If you've seen some of my older episodes, now you know how I do my camping, my cooking. Beans straight out of the can. I'm going to live on beans, tuna packs, and granola bars. I did bring some hot dogs and a little camp stove because we're going to be camping where we park, so I can have stuff in the car. Normally it's just a fire in the middle of some rocks. I'll have a camp stove so I can actually heat up my beans in a pot, not just eat them cold out of the can. That is kind of a luxury. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I don't know what else I'd talk about. I'm on my way to Unplug for 3 days. Probably more like 2.5. It's not like I'm going to stay till dark on Sunday. I'll be back Sunday afternoon. 2.5 days. I should force myself to stay late Sunday, though. Unplug longer. Just the whole thing, it's Sunday morning. We got to clean up and get out of here. Makes no sense to me. You still have the whole day off. What are you going to do? Go home and mow the lawn? No. Not me, anyways. My neighbors are going to see me gone all weekend, and they're going to be staring at my lawn, wondering how long I'm going to be gone as they mow their lawns and see mine grow. And then they're going to be wondering, well, even when I get back, will I actually mow it? Probably not. Alright, so I'm out of here. It's possible I make another video while I'm up there. I try not to do stuff like that. I'll use the phone for a camera. But unplugging is unplugging. It's not talking to a phone while you're out in the middle of nowhere. But you know what? It may be a good thing to make a video while I'm up there, because talking to the phone may take my mind off the black flies when I'm ready to set myself on fire. So we'll see about that. What do I have? I have some unknown black fly goop. Looks like a deodorant can. I'll smear this over my forehead and my fingers because they're the only skin that's going to be exposed. And I have my cigars. I honestly don't know that cigars help with the black flies. Everybody thinks they do. I think it's more of a mind trick on yourself. We'll see. Do it every year. Alright, so maybe there'll be another video while I'm up there. Otherwise, call in sick. Go fishing.
It's